John Clover Jack Norris is a native Floridian who dedicated his entire working life to the betterment of the Florida citrus industry. He was born on January 29, 1935, to John and Ellen Norris in Tampa, and had two brothers, Tom and Art. In the mid-1940s, his family moved to Lake Gem in Central Florida. From 7th grade on, Jack grew up working with his father as he managed the citrus and cattle operations at W.T. Bland, laying a foundation that would come in handy later. Jack attended Mount Dora High School, where he was active in the Lake County 4-H Club and held his first leadership position as chairman of the county council. He graduated in 1952 and entered the University of Florida, and in 1956 earned a Bachelor of Science degree with a major in animal science and a minor in citrus. While there, he was a member of the Alpha Gamma Rho agricultural fraternity and received an ROTC commission, serving a brief active duty stint in the U.S. Army, followed by 7 years of active reserve. His first job upon graduation was in sales with Swift & Company, where he learned a valuable lesson. He wasn't a salesman. He launched his career in citrus production and processing when he joined Heller Brothers Packing in 1957. W.T. Bland's son, Bill, worked for Minute Maid at that time and gave Jack an introduction to the company, which he joined in 1959, shortly before it was acquired by Coca-Cola Foods. His first assignment was managing the nursery operations in Hardee and Highlands counties. In 1961, Minute Maid sent him to Indiantown to manage a new tract of land they had acquired, and it was there that he met his wife, Kay. They married in Stuart on August 8, 1964, and together they have 4 sons, Jeffrey, Drew, Bill, and John, and 8 grandchildren. He quickly rose through the ranks at Minute Maid, and it wasn't long before he was named Director of Grove Operations, a position he held for 13 years. During his tenure with Coca-Cola Foods, Jack and his team worked closely with UF-IFAS and USDA ARS researchers, as well as private companies, to pursue innovative solutions to many of the citrus production challenges faced by growers throughout the state. It was important to Jack, wherever he was, to better the entire citrus industry with his decisions.
One of Mr. Norris's big contributions was taking his R&D department and letting them collaborate with the Citrus Research Center so the work would be available to the industry, really.
He didn't really look just, was it going to benefit Turner Foods Corporation? It was, is it going to benefit the entire citrus industry?
During this time, Jack began to hire and mentor graduates from the University of Florida and Florida Southern College.
Mr. Norris would say that he would try to hire people smarter than him because that's just the humble person that he is. Certainly his leadership made a lot of people look good, and it's made a lot of careers.
He was truly a strong mentor. He was very humble, never wanted any credit, but he did way more. If you look into this industry today, at the number of individuals that are in leadership positions, most of them probably worked for or with Jack Norris at one time or another in their career.
To me, a good leader recognizes that they don't have to be the smartest guy in the room. They just need to know where they are and go out and hire them. And Jack has done that throughout his entire career. The citrus industry is populated with people who Jack hired, mentored, put in responsible positions within the organizations that he has led, and now they're out leading organizations of their own. I mean, that is a fantastic quality.
By 1986, he was working for Alanco, a subsidiary of Florida Power and Light, as Vice President of Agriculture. 2 years later, Jack was named President and CEO of F.P.Ndell's Turner Foods Corporation and successfully led the operation until his retirement in 2000. Under his leadership, Turner Foods grew into one of the largest citrus growing operations in Florida, and indeed, the United States.
Jack, we started out with 500 acres of mature citrus, and over a period of about 3 or 4 years, Jack grew that company to over 20,000 acres.
At Turner Foods, Jack continued to seek continuous improvements in grove operations, as he did while with Coca-Cola Foods. But perhaps more importantly, he continued to recruit some of the finest talent in the industry to his management team, and provided them with the knowledge, tools, and empowerment needed to do their jobs effectively.
And most jobs, people go out there and they'll either grow the oranges or harvest the oranges. But Jack was real big about getting you involved in every aspect of the business.
Quite a few of them had very strong personalities, but yet Jack was able to control them, and certainly have some very astute individuals. But Jack always impressed me that he knew the exact place to put them to either for them to do the less damage possible or to do the best possible job for the company.
Despite the intense demands of his management responsibilities, Jack devoted countless hours of service to industry, educational, and civic organizations. He shared his experience and wisdom broadly, serving in a variety of volunteer leadership positions with Florida Citrus Mutual, Florida Fruit and Vegetable Association, Polk and Martin County Farm Bureaus, Florida Orange Marketers, Florida Citrus Research Foundation, and more.
He led by example. You know, he would, I don't think he asked his employees to do anything he wouldn't do himself. An example of that would be he lived on the East Coast. We had our corporate office in Punta Gorda, and he was the first one at the office, and he drove all the way across the state to get there.
Improving the image of agriculture and the citrus industry was a constant theme in Jack's leadership role with industry organizations.
You always knew if you called Jack Norris, he's going to say yes, and then you've got a partner in whatever project you're working on. And I relied on that with Jack for as long as he would let me, which was a long, long time.
A lifelong Gator, Jack strongly supported the University of Florida and the essential role that IFAS research, extension, and teaching play in the success of the citrus industry. He served for several years on both the University of Florida Foundation and the UF IFAS Share Council, including a stint as its chairman. He also played a significant role as a member of IFAS Capital Campaign Council in the early 2000s. Jack also strongly supported the Redlands Christian Migrant Association, which provides daycare and early childhood education to the children of migrant and seasonal agricultural workers throughout Florida, and served on their board after retiring. Clearly, Jack Norris has left a legacy of unselfish and dedicated service to the Florida citrus industry, and served as an outstanding role model for the next generation of leaders. Over his 4 decades of service, Jack has earned wide respect and admiration for his honest integrity and quiet but highly effective leadership and management style.
I was impressed from day one. I mean, Jack just has this statesman-like air about him, and just being in his presence, there was always a feeling of comfort and somebody who really knew what he was doing.
Honest, he's just a man of integrity. His word's better than any written contract.
One of the best people I've ever associated with in this industry, and will always be one of the mentors to me.
Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome John C. Jack Norris to the Florida Citrus Hall of Fame.